Right. What's up, and welcome to the Art of
Works a
Storytelling.
lot, Shawn.
As you can
I
see,
don't
it's
see
a little
one.
different setup today. My brother, we decided we're going to
Tag team
tag
back
team.
again.
Right.
Let me in.
Right. Going forward, it'll be him and I doing these conversations. And we have a lovely guest this evening. But before we introduce who he is, of course, we have to start off with our starter questions. I'm jumping the gun. We need to thank sponsors.
Good God, Davina. When Davina gets on that wine, it's her time to shine. Yo, thanks, ASC. One time for ASC. We love you so much. One time for Will, Simplistic Phobia, Black Market, coming through with the visuals and the Michaels. And Crown Keepers, what it do? Crown Keepers, what it do? Thank
Yeah.
you for allowing us in hither. Anybody else, what?
That's it. I will say that everyone who's on our Algae Live at the moment, pay attention to these starter questions because we do have a giveaway that we're going to share shortly thereafter. So we toss the coin and Dion gets to start. So have at it, bro.
Yeah, man. Well, Shawn, I no longer eat meat. But for those that do eat meat, they want to know: are you a drums or flats guy?
I am a drums guy.
Oh.
Smart man.
Yes,
Smart man.
more meat.
Give me
We
some.
do this every time. Okay, I guess. So, what's your favorite curse word? Just early.
My mom's watching this.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Uh,
mom.
um, probably shit.
Shit. Okay.
Mhm.
Shit. Mom, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. No, it's not his fault. He was pressured into answering. Okay.
I think I know the answer to this. Introvert or extrovert?
Introvert, definitely.
For sure.
Yep.
Is that what you get?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. iPhone or Android?
iPhone,
Toot, toot,
definitely.
toot, toot. Let's tap up. Bing, 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 bang, 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 bang. Okay.
Not too hard.
All right. Careful, careful.
Moving right along. Creamy or crunchy peanut butter?
No peanut butter. Nope.
None whatsoever.
Why is that?
None of the
Not at
butters.
all.
Why is
Never
that?
ate it at all. Like,
Are you have an allergy?
nope.
You don't have a peanut allergy.
Nope.
You've never had peanut butter.
I've had it, but not for
Not a
me.
fan of it?
Nope.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay.
What about on apple?
Look.
On a good apple
The
slice?
jelly.
Cheese and apples.
Cheese and apples. No,
Yep.
that ain't it either.
Huh?
That was
That's
it.
not it.
Ask my mom. That was it.
Oh, okay. 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 All right. Shawn, what makes you smile?
um, creation.
Creation.
So not just my creation, but any creation.
Yeah. Okay.
First thing you do in the AM.
First thing I do in the AM. Probably eat something sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for candy, so I keep it
Ah,
in my house.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a early bird or night owl?
A little bit of both. Both. I'm an artist, so we never sleep.
Yeah.
So, but I can stay up late at night and still get up early in the morning.
Oh, okay. You have. All right.
What makes you cringe outside of peanut butter?
Outside of peanut butter.
um, Small animals that like group together. So like a lot, like ants, or like things that move really like. In, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Like a sea of
Yes.
bugs. Like
Oh, listen,
yes.
I am here with you on that.
Like,
Animals
have
that
you
group
ever like
together.
punched an ant pal and saw them come out? Yes, that makes me cringe.
Right. I love it. So, in addition to masses of small animals that group together,
Yes.
what is a fear of yours?
I have a fear of heights, but I'm trying to get over that.
Okay.
When you say a fear of heights, like what's too high?
Um, it's the thought of being high. So even in airplanes,
Damn, man.
it's the thought of it.
What about
Gets-
if you're going to like you're in the elevator of a building and you're having to go up to like the 18th floor?
Yes,
That
it's just the thought of I'm this high.
And why?
Yep.
And why?
Mhm.
Help.
Maybe
But
we should have had you for Would You Wednesday, my brother.
Right.
For $100,000, would you look over the edge of a building?
Yes, so definitely when it comes to the money.
All you had to say is money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Brown or white?
Definitely brown.
Brown. Okay. I know your family is watching. However, flowers or eddies?
Both.
Both and.
Both and.
Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Give 5 Charlotte artists their flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. We had to change this question because at first it was like your top Charlotte 5 artists, and we didn't want to. That seemed to cause dissension amongst the ranks, the people. So
Gotcha.
yeah, flowers.
Um,
And why? Yeah.
Takora Woods. We actually went to school together. She's a high school teacher, visual artist, photographer, amazing person, amazing wife. So definitely her flowers. She just opened a studio in Mint Hill, photography.
Okay.
Davida Galloway.
Now I didn't pay him. I did not sway him in any way.
It's not that she's an artist, she's a creative, she's an inspirational person. She brings communities together. So her beingness as a whole person, yes, amazing.
She slipped you a $50. Let me know that. We keep it here.
I got to go back to Hannah Hassan. She was one of those people who reached down and grabbed me in the beginning. I know we don't communicate as much as often, but I see her amazingness. I see her pulling the community and pulling people up. So that upliftingness is always in me and has been instilled in me since we kind of connected. Oof.
One more, or you can keep going. I mean,
I'm gonna
Gloria
give.
Brown said, "Hey nephew," and so make sure you say, "Hey auntie."
Oh, let's see. I'll give my love to Khalif, one of my PFO brothers. He's someone who just shines and let his light pour on other people. And his music it has so much depth. So love him for that.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yes.
All right, so y'all, this is Shawn Glover, and I know I'm being loud, and I met him, I guess, a few years ago through PFO. That's, I believe, how we met. PFO is a nonprofit plan for others, and I've always admired you. Like, I've always admired how you art and how you express yourself. So it's definitely a pleasure to have you on this platform.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, who is Shawn? How would you describe yourself to those who are unfamiliar?
Shawn is a collection of moments, of happenings, of doings, and all that coming together.
That's bars. You gotta break that down. What does that mean?
If I told you that 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't know what it means myself. But it is, I believe that every happening has another happening that kind of flows and keeps going. And I am just a culmination of all those happenings. What is mine? What is my parents? What is their parents? So on and so forth. So it is just, I am just a culmination of all those happenings. And I kind of accept those for what they are, good or bad, whatever.
Yeah.
It's fire.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else you want to say to that?
Well, I mean, I think that's a part of everyone's like butterflying and becoming. Like we experience things as they are, and they shape and mold who we are and eventually become. So, just a comment. So I like that answer.
Yes, sir. So why do you create? How did you find art?
I create for exploration, to find things and to test what my limits, because I don't want any limits. I want to make sure that I can explore as many things as I can. How I create, what was the second part?
Why do you create, and how did you find your art?
How did I find my art? I found my art when I was in elementary school. It was an escape. It was my thing. It was my escape from everyone else in my family. I was the artist. I was the one with the paper who always wanted to sketch. So that's kind of how I found it. It was my kind of release in that way.
How do you describe yourself, like in terms of an artist? do you describe yourself as a visual artist or more generally, more wholly?
Um, I believe that anyone who creates is a visual artist, so as long as you can kind of visually see that thing. Um, so I kind of say visual artist,
Mhm.
kind of to encompass everything.
Mhm. 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 And so, since kindergarten, that's what you said you've been creating since. And what challenges have you faced along the way?
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Well, early on, I got admitted to this gifted and talented
Oh,
program.
so you ain't faced no challenges. He's been gifted since. Yeah.
And like it was another escape. So every summer I went to that program. And when I first got there, I was in the mindset of, okay, it's a gifted and talented program. So that means there are gifted people and then there are talented people. So I was like, what categories do I fit into?
You
I,
separated
I
them.
separated them as soon as I got there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
to me, I saw gifted as someone who was just born with this talent and they just flowed out of their hand. But if you were talented, it was someone who kind of pulled themselves up.
Got you.
And I
That's interesting.
automatically put myself in that category.
Okay.
So I knew that I needed to pull myself up. I needed to get better. I needed to grow. I needed to work. So I didn't want to be that gifted person. I didn't want to ever feel like I was given this thing. I want to work for it. I want to kind of dig into this and make sure that I'm growing constantly. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope. Um, Speaking of like those challenges and learning and becoming talented in what you do, are you still going through that now?
Definitely. I can't say that I haven't found my art yet. I am always exploring. Um, I think last year has been the most growth that I've seen in my work lately, just because I've found kind of what I want to say. I'm still looking for different avenues to say that thing, though.
Yeah.
So trying to work through that constantly is always something in my mind. Even when I'm at work, I'm always thinking about my home base, which is my art.
Shawn, you mentioned last year was the most growth. Like, what prompted that growth for you? I mean, because COVID, I think, forced all of us to, I'm gonna say it, pivot and
Hmm.
grow in a lot of different ways. Was that the impetus, or was it something outside of that?
I think it was kind of just like a culmination of when am I going to do what I want to do?
Mm,
Um, I was sitting around and kind of just waiting for things to happen. So why sit and making things happen when you know you can do it yourself? Like you
yeah,
need to get out there and do it.
yeah.
Nobody's going to put things in your plate. You need to make sure that you can eat yourself. So that happened last year. That was kind of the big aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, let's work at it.
Yeah. Okay.
You are getting shouted out, man. Ernestine Green. You are.
What up, Ernestine
Man,
Green?
man, you
What
are.
up?
Man, you are so talented and gifted.
That's my
Yes,
She
auntie.
and I
co-signs.
agree. And I
She
agree.
co-signs.
Right.
You getting love on the live play. What?
Thank you.
Uh, so speaking of your talents and your gifts, are there any new projects that you want to talk about or that you're working on? Where they can find these projects? Maybe you dropping a few mixtapes.
Let me find out.
What
So
Bars.
next year I turn 30. So next
Yay, big
June.
30.
Yes.
Wow, okay, okay.
And I am in the process of collecting works. So I am working on different series of works. Um, that kind of all build and kind of warp into the same kind of idea. I'm really interested in Black men, the human body,
Yeah,
emotion,
yeah.
giving of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
visual image. So all those things kind of fit into this bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to host my 30th kind of birthday before I head out somewhere
I
else.
know, because when you told me, I was like, what?
Yep.
But okay,
But
I
yeah.
get it. All right.
That's my next project. So to host some type of 30th birthday / day party / art gallery event.
Okay.
Yes.
You mentioned art, so I can't help but stare at what you've brought in with you. Is it a good time?
Sure.
Show and tell. It is show and tell
I think
time.
the next question kind of leans towards that.
Uh,
Hold on to that. Hold on.
Gotcha.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And before I do that, so those who are still on live with us, let's see. Oh, today we have a Hella AF pin. Hella AF pin for the giveaway to the first person in our comments who knows the answer to what makes you smile. What did Shawn reply to that particular question? First person in our comments with the correct answer will receive a Hella AF pin. Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck. The next question that I have, Dion, is how do you engage in self care?
Well, that's not the next question.
Well,
the
go
next
ahead.
question is what do you do? So, what do you
Yeah,
do?
what do you do, Shawn? A lot, all the things.
Yes.
Please, yeah.
I am a visual artist, educator, and graphic designer. My degree is in visual art, but I went into the graphic design field for 3 or 4 years. Then went into education for a few years, kept graphic design in the background,
Yeah.
took on education, and worked with a nonprofit too. So I do a lot. I try to stay busy, but it's all reaching towards a goal. So
Absolutely. So before you share for show and tell, I do have a question. I know that you have a degree in graphic design,
graphic visual art, yeah.
graphic visual art. Do you think yes, there's valid and there's weight to having a degree in those credentials, but to make it in the industry, in this economy, in this market, do you think one needs a degree or is Google University or YouTube University sufficient?
I think it's all about your mindset. So when I got out of high school, I was kind of lost and confused, and I needed some guidance. So
Yeah.
I felt like for me, the best place to find that guidance was in a university
Sure.
setting,
Sure.
and because I wanted to know more about art,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt like that was the place I wanted to go. If you're in the mindset where you know that you can get what you need in other spaces, other places, that is 100%
Okay.
cool.
Yep.
But I feel like I needed that knowledge in that university setting, and I am who I am now because of that.
For sure.
Maybe like the university experience also helps shape, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That piece of you too. So it's
Definitely.
not just what you learn in the classroom, but I think the entire experience of
Yes.
it helps shape and mold you.
Mm-hmm. And where did you
100%.
go?
I went to the University of South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yes.
Gamecock.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now is it show and tell time? Yay for show and tell. Y'all
Okay.
sound like y'all remember show and tell. Do you remember show and tell? Okay. All right.
All right. So I'm gonna start kind of with this.
Who this man?
This is a random. This is a random white man.
Who is Harpo?
Right.
Who is?
Yeah, a random white man.
Okay.
That I
Yes.
was basically forced to draw in college.
Wow.
But
Oh, he said, yeah.
there we go.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. So I was kind of forced to draw him in college.
Okay.
But I appreciate that being forced upon me because it allowed me to understand different techniques and kind of ways of creating art.
Mhm.
So it pulled me back to art history and the paintings of the past so that I can learn those techniques and apply them in different ways that I wanted to use them for. So it's always, my mom always says, like, you can't learn enough. So
Yeah.
always absorbing different information.
He kind of look like a serial killer,
Mhm.
like
I'm
he
pretty
giving
sure.
him serial killer
What?
vibes. I'm just
What?
saying, man.
Pretty sure he
giving
was
me
like a
serial-
monk or like some
Okay.
some
Yeah.
religious figure, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I see you got like the pastor
Preacher's collar.
slit right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Does he have a name?
No,
No name.
it's called Portrait of a Man.
Portrait of a man. But the detail, you see like the wisps of his hair.
Mhm.
You know.
The
Yeah.
wisps. A lot of S's on
Yeah,
that
the
thing.
wisps.
Huh?
Yeah.
A lot of S's
Yeah.
on that thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's dope.
Mhm. Cool,
And
cool.
that's acrylic or oil? What is that?
That's oil. So
Yeah.
that was my first oil painting
Okay.
ever. So getting to kind of what I do now, I'm more about expression and what's happening. Like, what is that person feeling? I want this art to tell a story. That back there was just learning technique. This is pulling that person out of their experiences. You're like reaching at, like, you're seeing their story. So yeah, so I started doing random people off Instagram, just pulling their photos, and then telling them afterwards and saying, "Look, I did this portrait of you."
Right.
And that happened with the Vita once.
There
This
I
is
go. There I is.
this is
Okay.
a few years ago,
Why
2018.
you always got the hate, bro? Dang.
So just this
I'll
was
hold
kind of
her.
like
I'll
when we
hold her.
first kind of initially met, and I was like, Davita's dope, Davita's bomb. Like, I need to kind of draw her. So stole a picture off Instagram, then was like, hey, made this of you.
And I was like,
Hashtag.
yes, thank you. You're awesome. This is what, charcoal? What is this?
That's charcoal and chop pastel.
How long does it generally take for you to,
When I'm
when you
working
say
on
it's a finished product?
something like this, I'm just going for like 30 minutes, an hour, and then I'm done with it.
Yeah.
A nice chunky piece like
Chunky.
that I'm working on.
Yes.
Not like the peanut butter though.
I mean,
That's months maybe. I'm working on one piece, which is a self portrait that I've been working on for a year and a half.
Oh, wow. A year and a half?
Put it
That's
away.
dope.
Yeah, it's 6 foot by 4 foot.
Oh wow, that's swole.
Yeah, trying to get bigger though. I want to do bigger.
Okay. Is this your first, I don't want to say attempt, but this is your first larger piece, like in that
that
size?
size.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's actually oil pastel, so it's like pastels that are this small on a piece that is
Okay.
challenge.
Yeah. A little bit.
Cool. I think I'm good on that.
You're good?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. I feel like I have something about that. But what more do you do outside of, because I know you are, do you consider yourself a designer?
Yes. Yeah.
Go into that, please.
I am a designer, graphic design, visual arts, all the things.
I meant fashion designer.
Yeah,
You know
fashion
what I
designer.
meant. I just wanted to be clear for the peoples.
Yeah, so I do wearable art. That's kind of my take on it. It is applying my art techniques to fabric. I just see fabric as another canvas.
Yeah.
So whether it's sewing, stitching, or applying, all those things kind of encompass what I do. My brand is post contemporary. It is kind of what I have on now.
It is what you have on, literally.
Yeah. So it is all lino cut and kind of small application, really minimal. But this is kind of what I do. Everything is carved by hand. Um, all the shirts are kind of discounted prices. So all that kind of comes together.
It's dope. They printed over the pocket.
Yeah.
That's fire. I haven't seen that before.
Thank you.
I like it.
All right.
I like it a lot.
Found in Dup and Swat.
Okay. You can come shop his collection at Dup and Swat. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So, any words of wisdom or encouragement that you would like to share, maybe to the family members that are cheering you on in the comments, or the up and coming artists? What you got for the people?
For the people.
Eat drums, don't eat peanut butter, and
I'm gonna say the biggest thing is to
No right or wrong. No, definitely a right. There's a right. There's always a right for you. No wrong.
give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
no
see.
worries, no worries.
Let it marinate.
Yeah, let that thing soak in.
Let it marinate.
Y'all not making it any better. It's fine. Just
You got something in there.
I
Maybe it's
do.
something you grab from school. Maybe it's something you grab from
I got
childhood.
you. So one big thing is that don't think that there's a definition to art. Whatever you create or whatever kind of comes out of your expression or whatever you kind of desire it to be, that is your art. There's no art with a capital A, which we kind of put on top of everything that we see in museums or put in front of us because of monetary like things like that. So be able to kind of be in your art and your happening, your creation, and understand that that is okay. So just accept your creations because that's what made me smile.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's fire.
I like that. I like that answer. So being an artist here in Charlotte for umpteen years now, what do you think the greater Charlotte area, people in Charlotte, the community in Charlotte can do to better support artists, creatives, particularly those of color? What can they do to support someone like you, to support you?
I think it is providing safe spaces and inviting spaces. Um, I know a lot of times we feel like we have to be that person in the room. Why do they not give the effort for us to feel like we should be in the room? So I feel like it should be an equal kind of push and pull. We shouldn't have to put ourselves out or feel like we have to be in a strange environment to succeed. I know that I'm pushing myself to go further and further, and I know that the further I go, it might be a more narrow space or a narrow community. But I want to see that when I get there, that I'm pushing that narrow space out a little bit. So as we reach and move forward, like we need to help kind of expand those spaces so more of us can kind of get in the door.
That's dope. That's dope. What are your superpowers?
Superpowers. If I had a superpower, it would be.
If you do have one, yes.
Oh, my superpower. I have drive. When I decide I want to do something, I'm gonna push until I get to it. And I'm always open to learn. So that's something that my mom always told me. Like I said it before, and you can never learn enough. Like you can never absorb enough information.
Are you one of those by any means necessary Negroes?
No, but I might switch my goal.
Programmed you.
Right.
What?
Yeah. No, I get the drive part. Like you go and go, you're not afraid of a no. Like what's a no? I'm gonna figure out a way to do the thing or to get the thing done.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I get it. With that said, though, as an artist, as a creative, as someone who's employed full time, we go and go and go and go and go, right? So, how do you find self care? What do you do for self care?
Music is a big thing for me.
It's an outlet.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't have a TV in my house. So
What? Like you? What? What?
I have my computer, but
There's no TV.
no TV.
Wow.
Hold on, brother.
Wow, this is great. I'm here for it, though. I'm here for it.
So
That's fine.
Look.
I'm glad you're
it's
here.
a couch with all pillows, a low coffee table, and then this old school stereo with.
Okay.
So I can crank that up.
Like record table or
Not record table,
Oh,
no.
no, okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get there when I get
Okay.
when I get when I when I get there. I'm gonna get there. But right now I got my little setup. Mhm.
All right, so, but you said no tea break, like no tea break at all. Right?
No.
Do you watch any kind of like shows or anything, or is it
I have Netflix, Hulu's, like Apple Music. I mean Apple, Disney
TV
Plus.
or whatever.
Yeah, I have all
so you
those.
can watch all that on your laptop.
Exactly.
It's such a small screen? You know what I'm saying, brethren? I'm saying the screen size. I need like a good 70. You know? No, you don't need that, huh?
Like the TV shouldn't be the focus of the room.
My brother. Stand firm.
He say, all right.
Stand firm.
Okay.
Do you speaking of like self care, are you like a incense? You like you like
Yes.
I'm an incense. Yes.
Me too. Incense, sage, mint crystals, all of those things.
The fruit. Like, that's no disrespect. No disrespect. But so speaking of which, self care and how do you manage? Like outside of your art, are there like any hobbies or anything you like to do that doesn't necessarily cost? What you do can be considered work.
Mhm.
You need that to survive. So outside of that, do you have any other hobbies or anything else that you've been kind of leaning into, or you would like to lean into?
I would definitely like to lean into cooking more.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
I'm
Yes.
transitioning into pescatarian, so
Oh, you
Give me
are.
some of that. Come on,
yeah.
give me some of
Okay,
that.
pescatarian.
Yep. So leading into that, so I'm trying to cook a little more, and also I am trying to work on Black comics. So that is
Oh, dope.
something that I started recently.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's yeah. I'm about to say that's new. I haven't heard you mention that before.
It's a little under the cover kind of story.
Okay, okay. Hold on, that's dope.
That's
Mm.
dope. So,
Mhm.
like, you mentioned cooking. Is that like a love you have? Like, you like eating, so you like, I need to learn how to cook so I can eat all the things I want to? Is that kind of,
It's like I've been around cooking all my life, so
oh,
I
okay.
just picked it up.
All right. Respect.
I've seen some of his dishes. I'm trying to figure out. I know you brought some things for PFO.
Hmm.
I know he can do all the things.
And
Oh,
I'm
word?
a sweets
Yeah.
kind of guy too.
Yes. Yes.
I
Okay,
love a
bro.
cheesecake.
Okay. So,
He got it. He
I
got it.
don't do cheesecake, but like, I don't do sweets like that unless
I
you're talking
got you.
about cookies.
I can
Yeah,
do.
he's a
But,
cookie monster,
you
actually.
know, I do
Like he
love
will
a
lose
good
his
cookie.
shit off. He will lose his shit literally
Yeah.
off some cookies.
I like a good cookie, dog. All right. Just want to let you know, brother.
Right.
So, but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, anytime you want to bring something to Duff and Swag,
Some
I got
cookies.
you.
Look, he's like,
you
anytime you want
know,
to bring some cookies. That's
not
funny.
being specific or anything, but peanut butter, chocolate chip, oatmeal
I knew the
raisin,
peanut butter was coming.
Right, 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 right.
All
Mhm.
right, that's what's up.
Gotcha.
So I want to get into a little bit of like art and using it to tell your story and for like social activism, social justice, and the importance of you arting. I use that as a verb. The importance of you arting
Hmm.
um, as a black man. Can you speak to that, if at all? I mean, I guess it goes back to the question of um, why you do what you do, but just to dig in, just a little more nuance it just a bit.
Gotcha. So Nina Simone said art is supposed to reflect the times.
100%.
So that is my drive. That is my kind
Yeah.
of ambition.
Yeah.
But to take it a step further, it should reflect the times and it should look to the future.
Mm.
So it should be portraying what we want and not just what we see now.
Yeah.
So always trying to reach and pull forward a little bit.
Respect that.
Hmm.
Reach and pull, both and. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
You mentioned Nina Simone. Are you a historian in some aspects, man? Like,
I get my history from art.
Okay.
So through art history, through activism, I kind of get my history from those things. So you learn through what you watch or what you absorb. So if I'm looking at these Greek, Roman art, I'm pulling stories from those.
Yeah.
I'm not just pulling visual images. Those are stories that people told.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
So always kind of my history comes through the art.
Yeah.
respect that.
Now, I mean, you mentioned Nina Simone. I'm interested in when you create.
Hmm.
What are you listening to? First of all, are you listening to anything?
Yes.
Paint the picture. Paint
Um,
the picture.
so all throughout middle, high school, my art teachers were very religious. So we listened to
Oh.
a lot of gospel music.
While you creating
Yes.
gospel?
I don't know
Because
about that one, man. Like,
it wasn't
that
during
ain't the
school,
creative
but
vibe. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But
it,
that's me though.
mhm.
You might be able to get down to some Kirk. I understand for
Yo,
me. You know what I mean?
Kurt just did that on Marion challenge. Did you see that?
I saw.
Oh, okay.
Was it that bad? Was it that bad? What y'all laughing
It was
at?
classic Kurt.
Woo,
Oh, okay.
classic Kurt.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna show you. I'm sorry.
Nope, you're
Continue.
good.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so like after that whole music gospel experience,
Yeah.
I found myself
Yeah, right.
and knew that I
Afterwards.
didn't need to listen to that to create art. So I listened to a lot of R&B. So I listened to some classical music as well, jazz. So I flipped through genres. I have a
Yeah.
music background, so I listen to the greats like the orchestras, the classical.
The box.
Yes, the Bachs, the Tchaikovskys.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have like now I know you got your laptop, but do
Mhm.
you have like do you prefer like I prefer large, loud sound, or do you prefer like earbuds or something moderate like when you're creating at the crib? You know what I'm saying?
It just depends on what I'm working on.
Okay.
It can be the loud, like I like to have my door wide open because I have a screen door and like
Yeah.
blast like some old school black music like
Yeah.
in my neighborhood. And then I
Yeah.
just create and work. But some days it's like I need some intimate, kind of just mellow Afro beats.
Sure.
And everything's closed, my incense burning, lights are down. So it
Mhm.
just depends on the mood.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I like. I like. I
I'm a
like.
Gemini, so I'm all over the place.
No, and I am too. I'm an Aquarius, but clearly I get it. I get it. Um,
Equipment now.
hey, I see
My
what you
sister's
did
Aquarius.
there. Right. Gemini. Uh-huh. I mean, we can go on this music talk for a while. So I know we did top. No, not top, but you gave a few Charlotte artists their flowers. We gotta ask this. Who's your top five? Top five. Any genre. We'll make it. I guess that's fair. Any genre. Top five.
Can I do visual artists?
Honestly, I'm with it. Top five visual artists. Any? Yeah. Let's go. Who you got?
Okay. Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
it is not for just who he was, because he was a shitty ass person.
Yeah.
But but I love his. He was a brilliant person as well.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
everyone has that duality. I think an artist as a whole, we're crazy on one side and then
Sure.
we're brilliant on the other side.
Yeah.
Um, um, Leonardo Drew, he's a New York-based artist. He does three-dimensional work. Um, African American male. Really look up to him. Um,
No, Leonardo Drew.
definitely
Let me
look
take
him up.
notes.
Um, let's see.
Dig deep.
Dig deep. Top five visual artists. Jean Michel Leonardo Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Dion Galloway, he's
Bruh, what?
fire. He is fire.
Bruh, what?
I don't know if you've seen like his
Have
work,
you seen it?
but that
Thank you.
That
Will, like,
one-
what he talking about?
Will, I know you've seen it. I know you've been like, damn, I wish I could create that stuff.
Maybe a little bit.
Right.
Gustav Klimt. He's an Austrian artist. Yes, he.
How you spell Gustav?
Strong name. Strong name. That thing's strong, okay?
Gustav.
If y'all have ever seen The Kiss,
man.
like with all the gold and the two people kissing,
I
that's
haven't. Oh, okay.
and I'm gonna stop right there.
Okay, that's fine. You done gave us a strong three. A strong three.
Those are my go-tos.
Okay. I'm with it. Anything else? Man, Shawn, I just want to be like, I know this is like, why are you leaving?
Oh, you leaving?
Am I not supposed to say anything?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay.
Oh, just give me the whole rundown of what's going on here. I've been kept out the loop.
So last year, I kind of decided that I wanted to pursue education further, and not just my education, but teaching in education. So I want to get my master's, and I can do that online. Yes, I can. But I want to be in spaces and places where I am addressing policy and being in the room with people who are making what we're learning, like what our kids are learning. It's nothing to sit on the school board anymore. It's nothing to run for office locally. If you're not in the door, like writing the curriculum, you're not going. Like I feel like I'm not doing my part enough. So I want to get my master's. I want to maybe potentially get my doctorate and kind of step my foot in that door, like in that space of curriculum, because I feel like we don't see a lot of males in education. But at that level, we might see a few principals, but I want people who are doing that work of what are we teaching kids, and what are we teaching kids in the arts, and how we can use that to address mental health, address people who live in urban environments, all those things.
So you get to say
I know, but that is
where.
I'm moving to DC.
I
Yeah.
knew it. You know,
Yeah.
putting policies and stuff.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's gonna be on 8th Street. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Right.
That's
8th
what's,
Street.
that's what's up.
As an artist, I'm sorry, were you?
No, go ahead.
Okay. As an artist, as a black artist, as a black male artist, who is your audience? Who do you think your audience is? Or no, matter of factly, who is your audience?
My audience is anyone who's willing to have a conversation.
Period.
Anyone who can see a piece of work and make a story from it and tell that story to someone else. Whatever they pull from that work, whether it's mine, whether it's someone else's, telling that story is sharing another part of someone's life.
Yeah.
So my artist is anyone who can kind of pull something from my work or view it and receive something from it.
Relate to it in some form or fashion. Yeah. Okay.
That's dope.
And even if they're not relating, just seeing more.
Do you want to be the type of artist where people, you might already be this artist because you're talented and you're fire, but people walk into like an art gallery, one, and two, they see your work and they just stand there and look and think about what you were going through, like what made you do this, like these connoisseurs, I guess you can say that not only understand or maybe they don't understand. They just like what you provided. Uh, but would you like to have your art in like these locations where people can acquire them, they're donated, they're valuable, or some value is placed on them? Does that mean you're successful, or do you just want to put work out there and have people appreciate it, or or take it home or not take it home? Like, what is your goal in terms of like your artistry?
Gotcha. So I want my work to be living work. I don't want it to be something that just dies and kind of sits. I want it to be something that's constantly talking, constantly communicating with people. So I could care less about being in big galleries or having my name recognized. It's more about those intimate like moments and those stories being passed on. Yeah.
Dope.
That's how you define success for you.
Success is always moving. It's not just something that's stagnant.
For sure.
So will you ever reach it or obtain it if it's always moving?
I don't feel like you have to reach an end goal. As long as you're always working towards your goal, you're good.
Yeah. That's dope. I mean, on that note, I feel like we good. I think you dropped quite a few bars for us this evening. Where can the people find you on the socials?
I have my own website. It is www.shawnmglover. That is SHAWNM Glover, GLOVR.com. Instagram, Radiant King with 2 G's, or Shawn.Michael.Glover on Instagram.
Okay. All right. Again, we'll definitely want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Thank you, Arts and Science Council, Culture Blocks for sponsoring us. Shout out to Simplistic Phobia, Crown Keepers. We are Dumping Squad. And we'll see you next time
10-4
for the Art of Storytelling. Okay? See you later. I could feel like we need an outro. We need like a really dope step, 1, 2 step, 1, 2 step, and break it down, Sam. Break it up.
Will you introduce? Okay.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you.